live from Studio D on the campus of the University of Oklahoma. This is Sooner Sports Pack, brought to you by Slim Chickens. And now, here's your host, Chloe Sparks.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Sooner Sports Pad. It's the Women's Week to Shine with our analysts Sydney Bollier and Caroline Grace. The Sooner softball team that doesn't show any signs of stopping anytime soon after showing their domination on the field and sweeping Kansas over the weekend. And their 56th straight Big 12 Series win, it wrapped up in just 5 innings after another run rule victory. Sooner freshman Tiare Jennings started us off with a lead-off double in the top of the first. Grace Lyons and Mackenzie Donahue each blasted a homer. And check out this play from the top of the third. Nicole Mendez is in the outfield when Kansas tries for a solo home run, but Mendez says, nope, I'm going to steal that for a 10-1 win. And after this weekend, women's gymnastics are headed to the NCAA championship for their 17th straight season. The women took home the Tuscaloosa regional title and 11th straight regional crown under Coach KJ Kindler. Olivia Troutman won the vault title with her 4th career perfect score. Anastasia Webb took the beam title and the all-around title. OU ended up on top, 198.175. And as for men's gym, look at those flips. The number 1 team took its 9th straight Mountain Pacific Sports Federation Conference title on Saturday. On floor, the team scored a 70.55, earning them the event title. And then junior Morgan Saylor was crowned the MPSF championship on floor, scoring a 14.85. And now they'll be heading into the NCAA championship with 2 more event team titles and 5 more event top 3 finishes under their belt. One of the most successful basketball coaches for college in the past 5 years is coming from Loyola to be OU's head basketball coach for the men. How do you think that this hiring will impact the Sooner basketball season?
You know what? I think it says something how quickly Joe Castiglione jumped on it and hired Moser. And why wouldn't he? He's been a hot item since Loyola went to the Final Four in 2018. From what he said after he was hired, it looked like Moser was seeking a larger, reputable program with a history of winning and high standard set, and that's Oklahoma all over it. The Sooners are in a better spot than when Moser took over the Ramblers, and he created something very special, so I think he's going to create something very special. He's energetic and hands-on, and it's his first time coaching a Big 12 conference team in the conference that's at the top of NCAA basketball right now. Not only that, but the hire is going to bring a lot more eyes on the program, a lot better recruits, and I can't say this for sure, but I think the Sooners are going to be on an upward trend.
For sure, Sydney. It's all about that upward trend, bringing popularity to the program, and that's why I think that this new hire is really going to change the game for recruiting. Before Moser got to Loyola, the Ramblers had 17 out of 20 losing seasons. Then Moser came along for the next 10 years and turned the program around. In his last 4 years there, he went 32-6, 20-14, 21-11, and finished going 26-5. I say all of this because I think that Moser is beginning to peak as a collegiate coach, and he's going to spark a lot more recruiting wanting to come in and really just buy into that Sooner program. So I think this is a great hire.
We discussed it last week. Even if Davion Harmon doesn't come back next season, I see a bright future with Moser as part of the OU men's basketball team. Like always, it's time to talk about our Sooner Standout of the week. The women's gymnastics team is way too cold, but one women's gymnast that is always bringing her A game is Anastasia Webb. Now, she had her first ever career perfect 10 on bars over the weekend. She scored a 9.9 on vault. She had a near perfect 9.975 on beam and a 9.925 on her floor routine for the number 5 spot, where she flaunted her outstanding dance skills paired with her beautiful tumbling. Take this, she won the all-around title and the beam title with a 39.7 after hitting all 4 events at a 9.9 or above. Tell me if you can beat that Sooner Standout.
No, if I can beat it, but I'm going to stick with you and stick with women's gymnastics. Just to note, they went down to Alabama for a quad meet, and they punched their 17th consecutive ticket to nationals. And along with them, it was junior Olivia Troutman that helped secure the spot for the Sooners. Troutman started off the night on vault with a perfect 10 in first place. It was her 4th perfect 10 of her career, and she's the first OU gymnast to grab a 10 at a regional meet, but she did not stop there. She started the squat off strong on bars, staking a double dismount and matching her career high score, and then she wrapped up an incredible meet with another stellar performance on the floor with a 9.925. Now, it's so hard to be perfect in women's college gymnastics, but I think she's pretty darn close to it.
Yeah, I love this. We are really breaking the glass ceiling on this show, this all-women show, and that's why I'm going to stick with the ladies, and we're going to hear from Ivana Corley later, and that's why I'm going with her sister, Carmen Corley, as my Sooners standout. Carmen was one of 3 to have singles wins. Then her and Ivana were able to take the match and their second-ranked win of the weekend with a 6-4 victory. The Sooners really sealed the match with the number 97 Carmen's defeat over number 38 Stallmeyer at the top spot. Carmen is a huge asset to the Sooners women's tennis team, so I cannot wait to hear what Ivana has to say later.
I like it. Shout out to the woman. Like Caroline just said, next up we're going to have Ivana Corley, the other half of that duo, coming up with us with Sooner Sports Pads, Kemper Ball. Stick around.
Sooner Sports Pad is presented by Slim Chickens. Slim Chickens tenders are always fresh, cooked to order, and made from 100% all-natural premium chicken. Buttermilk marinated, hand-breaded, and cooked to perfection every time. Use the Slim Chickens app and order for curbside pickup, delivery, dine-in, or drive-thru. Fresh, delicious chicken. Slim Chickens. Get Sooner Sports news and talk on demand whenever you want with the Sooner Sports Podcast. Exclusive interviews, post-game shows, and all things Sooner Sports. Subscribe today at Soonersports.com/podcast. The Sooner Sports Podcast is presented by Riverwind and Allstate.
Thank you to our cornerstone television partners, OU Health, Anheuser-Busch, and the OU College of Professional and Continuing Studies, and our community partners, Landers Auto Group, Coca-Cola, and OU Health.
Before last season got cut short due to COVID, Ivana Corley, alongside her sister, wrecked their rackets in doubles, going 10-0. And they also clinched 3 of 11 of OU's doubles points in the season. Sooner Sports Pads Kemper Ball got the chance to catch up with Ivana Corley over earlier today, and now let's hear it.
Thanks so much. And tonight we've got a great interview for you. Tonight we are joined by Ivana Corley from the women's tennis team. Ivana, how are you doing tonight?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing great. A big weekend over this past weekend, getting a huge upset win over UCF. What was the key to getting that big victory?
I think a lot of things. This week we've been particularly focused on being competitive and kind of in each other's faces in practice. So I think we all got out of our comfort zone this week by doing that. And I think that really pushed us and helped us. I think also we've had some tough losses this season and they've been really close. So I think those losses kind of helped us be able to overcome a moment like this. And, you kind of got to lose some to win some. You have to learn somehow.
Well, one thing I've noticed about your guys' wins is it seems like the doubles pairs get out there and really set the tone for the day. Is that something you guys try and hit on, something you focus on to really build that momentum from the start?
For sure. We always talk about starting with doubles is like the key to our program, and we want to make sure that we send a message to our opponents right away. That's also something that we have been working really hard on in practice, is making sure we set the tone and we're really practicing those skills so we can go out and take that extra point, because who doesn't want the extra point to start off? We got to start off a little easier in the match.
I feel like I hear all the time athletes say that their teammates are like their brothers or like their sisters, but you are actually teammates with one of your siblings, your younger sister, Carmen. What is it like being a doubles pair with her? And since you're the older sister, did you have to recruit her a little bit to get her to come here?
Definitely. It was a little bit of I would say like a little bit of a struggle at first, because Carmen knew that coming here was almost like the easy choice, especially after I was here. So it took a lot of convincing, and she came on about 1 million visits since I was already here already. But I think growing up, we didn't actually get to play doubles together in tournaments probably as much as we wanted to, because the age difference is always really different growing up. It has to be 2 years, and that's exactly what we were. But we always practiced together. So I think now that we're actually able to be at a point in our career where we're both playing really well, and we get to go to school together, and doing all of this together at this time in our lives, I think is really cool. And we're really fortunate that we have each other, you know.
Well, that's all the time we have, unfortunately. Thank you so much to Ivana Corley for joining us tonight. Guys, back to you in the studio.
If you have ever been to a few OU sporting events, you might notice that there are a few regulars in the stands, especially at the women's basketball games for former head coach Sherry Cole. Now, Shannon Earhart from Sooner Sports Pad got a chance and scouted out a couple of those super fans, if you will. Let's take it to her for the story.
Imagine what it must be like for Sherry Cole of Oklahoma. 6 years ago, she was a high school coach. Now she has her team here playing in the Final Four.
A good coach is important to any sports team. They turn players into stars and dreams into realities. The University of Oklahoma got the privilege to have a long-lasting legend, Sherry Cole.
She was able to recruit good players. She was able to be able to sell the university and what she had a vision for. And it's amazing to me that it seemed like it took a long time, but in a way it didn't seem like it took that long at all.
I watched the progress. I thought Sherry did an outstanding job of coming in with almost a defunct program and turning it around. It made it into what it is today. The cupboards are not bare, whoever takes it on.
And there are so many top basketball coaches that intimidate people, but not this native Oklahoman.
My favorite memory of Sherry would probably be the 2002 National Championship. I went to San Antonio for the game, and we stayed in the same hotel with the team, and it was so electric and it was so exciting. And I remember Sherry coming down the stairs as the team was getting ready to go, and I said, "Hey, good luck, coach." And she said, "We're going to win." And they did.
She didn't just teach her players to be great simply on the court, but taught them to be great members of the community.
One time I was on some board, and I said, "Hey, we need a house indoor painted." I said, "Do you have any kids that might be interested in some volunteer work?" And she said, "Yeah, I'll get that worked out." And she came like the day we asked, and like the whole team came, and they didn't even need ladders. They were just tall.
Her will to win made so much noise that everyone who watched her knew that what you see is what you get.
She wants to be a winner and wants her team to be a winner, trying to instill that positive attitude and finding the switch in everybody's talent and how to turn it on. And she knew all the switches. She knew. And I remember hearing her speak about certain players that they hadn't really found that next level yet. But they would. She never put them down. It was always, they will get there and they will produce.
In addition to being the pinnacle for OU women's ball, Coach Cole was instrumental for OU women's sports as a whole.
I really believe that she made a huge difference in women's basketball here and around the nation. And wow, what a success story.
She may not be Sooner born or Sooner bred, but Sherry Cole never failed to live down that Southern Sooner style.
Sherry has a personality. She is a very attractive woman. She's very spunky. I mean, when someone messes up, she's right off that bench. She's running down the sideline with those high heels. She's going to get somebody.
Sherry was not this person in the media and this person at home. She's the same type of person all the time. And, that's how you know when a person's genuine, is when they, they're the same person no matter what setting you're in. She's done a great job, and I'm proud to know her.
Shannon Earhart, Sooner Sports Pad.
I think we are all super fans of Sherry Cole if we are a Sooner. But stick around, because coming up, Sydney and Caroline are facing off. Thanks for sticking with us on Sports Pad. I know you didn't want to miss Sydney and Caroline facing off. For the first question, I'm going to be asking you, who do you dream about being the new women's basketball coach?
Well, I think it's going to be very hard to replace someone as amazing as Sherry Cole, but I think someone that can build on the foundation that Coach Sherry Cole left is Deanna Jackson-Durrett. And for starters, it's because she was a guard at OU from 2001 to 2005. Right now, she's an assistant at Mississippi State and has been there for 2 Final Four appearances with the Bulldogs. Now, what I want most for the next coach is a huge grasp on recruiting so that we can start grabbing high-profile players and making OU a hot spot for talent. And you know what it is. Sooner bred, Sooner born. I think the only way to follow Sherry Cole up is to hire a Sooner.
Keeping it Sooner
Okay,
bred.
on the trend of former players, Sooner born, Sooner bred. I think I can one-up you on that. And I think that we should keep Courtney Parrish, but move her up to head coach. Parrish is the most decorated player in OU women's program history and was added to the staff as an assistant coach in May of 2020. She joined the Sooners after a 10-year WNBA career and was the 7th overall pick in the NBA draft in 2009. In 2014 and 2015, she led the league in rebounds as well. Now, we already have her here, and it would be such a shame to not give her that head coaching spot, so I'm going to go with Courtney Parrish.
See, I love it, and I love her, but my only problem is that she has no head coaching experience and has only been there for a year.
Well, we'll let Chloe decide at the end of this.
The day that we have been waiting for since OU lost, who is going to win the national championship? We're ready for this thing to be over.
Oh, am I, Chloe? And I've said it over and over again. I am sticking on the Gonzaga train. I can't wait for them to come in and slaughter Baylor tonight. I'll tell you what, if they do not win, I'll be seriously surprised and disappointed. They've been the best team all season. I mean, can any moment in March Madness really top the game winner against UCLA on Saturday? It's a great matchup tonight, coaching-wise. I think they're both 2 future Hall of Famers. Great matchup between players. I'm mostly looking forward to Drew Timme and Davion Mitchell going at it. They've been spectacular. It's going to be an intense battle. Both teams have been absolutely spectacular all season. I think it's going to end up with the Bulldogs taking the win.
Gonzaga, Gonzaga, Gonzaga. I'm tired of doing that. And to keep it in the Big 12, I'm going to go with the Baylor Bears. And I'm not going to sit up here and act like Baylor is better statistically or records-wise, but I do think that Baylor has what it takes to outlast them for all 40 minutes of the game, and we all know that any team is capable of pulling out the win when it comes to tournament play, despite the Bulldogs having a perfect season so far. I'm really pulling for the upset here, and straightforward, I'm just tired of seeing Gonzaga win at this point.
I don't want to see Baylor win either, though.
Sick them all the way, I guess. Never thought I'd say that. Show me what you have this week for viral videos.
Okay, so you guys would think that Pro Day at Alabama would be very serious. You have Bill Belichick in the building. You have so many high-star scouts. And take a look at Pro Day this year. So you have Mac Jones getting interviewed, and then you have big offensive lineman Landon Dickerson. Behind him, this guy just came off an ACL tear. I don't know how Nick Saban's going to feel about that one.
Sydney,
but I'm loving it.
Can you do cartwheels like that?
Can I, Chloe?
I'm supposed to win this
Shorts under the
now.
dress. That was a nice touch. It's almost like you were ready.
I haven't been practicing that.
I'm just hoping that cartwheel made Nick Saban mad, because nothing's better than that. But my viral video, check out this UCLA fan. She thinks that her team is going to win this game against Gonzaga. She's so excited. And then it hits her. And they lose. I have to say, I kind of feel for her, but the reaction, priceless.
My face definitely looks the same exact way as hers. I swear I blinked. Anyways, now it's time for the audience to vote. So cheer if you think that Sydney won face-off. Hey, she did a cartwheel, let me remind you.
She did do a cartwheel.
Now cheer if you want Caroline to win face-off. Caroline just might know a few more audience members. She is going to take the face-off win this week. Stick around because whenever we return, I'm going to show you some games you need to watch next week, plus Sooner Sports Pad Mailbag.
First face-off.
Men's golf is competing in the Calusa Cup in Florida on Tuesday, and the softball versus Baylor series will begin on Friday and wrap up on Sunday. Track and field will be in the North Texas Classic in Denton on Saturday. Those are all things that I really think that you should watch out for this week. Now let's take it to the Sooner Sports Pad Mailbag. This first question is going to come from Pierce. What are your thoughts on Iwakure transferring to UNLV?
Personally, it's obvious that Lon Kruger had an impact on him for him to go and want to be coached under his son. Well, I don't know what he's thinking, but I think it's a good idea, partially, but Moser is a great coach.
At this point, you kind of have to go with where you're going to get the most playing time, and I feel like this was a good choice for him to get that. So.
Agreed. Let's get the second question up there because I want to know what your thoughts were on Lincoln Riley's brisket, and so does Grayson.
Oh my goodness. Well, I saw that on Twitter. Red and juicy, just how I like it. Love you, Lincoln.
Brisket, least favorite food on this planet, so I just kept on scrolling. I don't do brisket. I'm sorry.
Thank you. Anything else to say? Any other thoughts?
Just wish I could have eaten it.
I mean,
yeah, my
provides,
brisket looks nothing like that. So everyone, thank you so much for joining us on Sooner Sports Pad this week. Be sure to follow us on our social media at Sooner Sports Pad. You know that you always have the chance to be discussed live in front of a national audience every Monday night. We're now on Bali TV, so be sure to check us out. Same time, same place. Good night.